Airbnb just made one of the biggest changes to its pricing model in its 18-year history. And if you're a host, it could seriously impact your profits unless you take action now. I'll break down exactly what's changing, what it means for your payouts, and what experienced hosts, including us, are already doing right now to adapt and protect their margins. By the end of this video, you'll know how to adjust your pricing, stay profitable, and even use this change as a chance to position your business to be even stronger. And stay with me until the end, because I'll also show you the one move that gives you control over your short-term rental business, even if Airbnb keeps changing the rules. I'm Dr. Kenji Asakura, physician, real estate investor, and co-founder of Semi-Retired MD. I've been investing in real estate for over 25 years, including short-term rentals, even before Airbnb even existed. Back then, they were called furnished rentals. Today, my wife and I help high-income earners learn how to achieve financial freedom with real estate, many of whom invest in short-term rentals using platforms like Airbnb. So if you're a host or thinking about becoming one, this change matters, because what you do right now will determine what happens to your profits. All right, let's start with what's really happening, because the headlines only tell half the story. Until now, Airbnb used what's called a split fee model. That meant both the host and the guests shared the costs. Hosts paid around 3% of the booking subtotal, while guests paid roughly 15% as a service fee. Let's break that down with an example. If you charge $400 a night plus a $125 cleaning fee, that's a $525 subtotal. Under the old system, Airbnb charged the host a 3% fee, about $15.75, leaving you with a payout of $509.25. Airbnb also charged your guest a 15% service fee, another $78.75. So your guest total came to about $603.75 before taxes. So Airbnb earned roughly $94 on that stay, about 18% of the subtotal, split between you and your guest. Now here's what's changing. Under the new host-only model, the entire commission shifts to you. Guests don't pay a service fee anymore. You now pay 15.5% of the subtotal instead of 3%. So using the same example, Airbnb takes $81.38 from your payout. You receive $443.62, and the guest now pays $525. That's roughly $65 less per booking in your pocket. So to keep your income the same, you'll need to raise your nightly rate by about 12 to 15%. Now, before you start updating your listings, let's talk about the timeline, because this change isn't happening all at once. Airbnb is rolling it out in phases, and depending on how you host, you might already be in the new system without realizing it. Here's the timeline you need to know. First, August 25th, 2025. If you're a new host connecting through what's called a PMS, a property management system that connects listings across Airbnb, VRBO, and Booking.com, you are automatically switched to the new host-only fee model. Next, October 27th, 2025. All existing PMS-connected hosts moved over as well. If you manage multiple properties through software, this is your date. And finally, December 1st, 2025. That's the cutoff for everyone else. After this date, the old split fee model disappears completely, and all new bookings will use the host-only structure. Now here's a detail most people will miss. If you already have reservations confirmed before December 1st, those days still follow the old 3% host fee, even if the guest checks in later. Now the obvious question is, why? Why would Airbnb shift the fees completely to hosts? Because once you understand the reasoning, you'll know how to adjust your business to benefit from it. So why is Airbnb doing this? Because on the surface, it looks like they're helping guests, but this move is just as much about compliance as it is about competition. Let me break it down in a little bit more detail. First, pricing transparency. Airbnb now requires that the total price, your nightly rate, cleaning fees, and extras be shown up front before checkout. No more surprise fees showing up at the last second. That's not just good business, it's the law in many countries. Governments around the world are cracking down on what they call junk fee transparency. The US and the EU have already passed regulations that force companies to show all-in pricing before purchase. So Airbnb is not just doing this for guests, they're doing it to comply with international regulations. Second, competition. This change brings Airbnb in line with Booking.com, VRBO, and Expedia, which already use a host-only commission model. To stay competitive and simplify how listings are compared, Airbnb had to align its pricing structure. By making the pricing structure simpler, Airbnb believes guests will have more confidence to book, fewer cart abandonments, fewer complaints about hidden fees, and ultimately, more completed reservations. From Airbnb's perspective, it's a win. Fewer complaints, fewer abandoned carts, and they still collect the same total revenue, just from a different pocket. But here's what matters for you as a host. That pocket is yours. So while the change might sound like a small adjustment, for many hosts, it's a 12 to 15% hit to profit margins. And that's exactly why this next part is so important. Because when you understand how this impacts both sides, guests and hosts, you'll know how to adjust your strategy instead of getting blindsided. Let's get into that next. For guests, this update feels like a win. They finally see the full price up front, No more sticker shock at checkout. But for hosts, it's a little more complicated. Unless you raise your prices, your payout per booking will drop by 12 to 15%. So what are hosts saying about all this? According to research by Grok, as of November 2025, host reaction is overwhelmingly negative. Hosts are frustrated. Some are calling Airbnb greedy. They see Airbnb quietly shifting the cost burden from guests to hosts while keeping their own revenue steady. Others are taking a more measured view, pointing out that if you simply raise your nightly rate by the right amount, the math mostly evens out and guests end up paying roughly what they were paying before. Either way, it's a significant adjustment for the hosting community. And that's the key takeaway here. This isn't good news or bad news, it's just change. And change rewards the people who adapt first. So as hosts, we just have to decide how we're going to respond to it, whether that means adjusting prices, building direct booking systems, or rethinking how much of our business we want tied to one platform. The key is to adapt intentionally. So in the next part, let's get practical. I'll show you exactly what top hosts, the ones who've already protected their margins, are doing right now to stay profitable and even use this update as a growth opportunity. So what are experienced hosts doing right now to adjust to this change? I'm seeing 4 clear strategies, and each one comes down to staying proactive, not reactive. First, raising prices. Most hosts are increasing nightly rates by 12 to 15%. That offsets the new fee and keeps payouts roughly the same. Second, diversifying platforms. Most hosts are listing their properties on VRBO, Booking.com, as well as other sites. Spreading bookings across platforms means one company's policy can't derail your income stream. Third, simplifying pricing. Many are bundling cleaning or pet fees into their nightly rate. It keeps pricing simple and aligns with Airbnb's new transparency rules. Fourth, going direct. And this one might be the biggest long-term play. More and more hosts are building their own direct booking websites. Because when you own the guest relationship, you're not just saving on fees, you're building a business that belongs to you, not Airbnb. Each of these strategies help protect your margin, but the last one, direct bookings, is the one that gives you the most real control. So next, let's break that down. I'll show you how direct bookings work, why they're easier to set up than you think, and why the hosts who move on this first will have a huge advantage when the next platform change hits. Let's dive a little deeper into this one, because direct bookings are the single best way to take control of your short-term rental business. It not only increases your profitability, more importantly, it reduces your dependence on platforms like Airbnb. So what exactly are direct bookings? It's when a guest books your property directly through you, on your own website, through a booking link you control, or even by reaching out after a previous stay. There's no middleman taking a commission. Here's the truth. When you rely on Airbnb, you're building your business on their platform. They decide the rules, they decide the fees. And as we just seen, those rules can change anytime. When you have your own direct booking website, you're back in control. You own the guest relationship. You keep more of your revenue instead of giving up 15% or more to a platform. You can follow up directly with guests, invite them back, and build repeat business year after year. And you can create a branded experience that feels professional, personal, and unique to you, not just another Airbnb listing. And here's an important piece many hosts overlook. Collecting guest emails. Every guest who stays with you is a potential repeat customer. By collecting their email addresses with permission, you can stay in touch through simple, consistent marketing. That might mean sending thank you notes, special promotions, or seasonal updates that remind past guests to book directly with you next time. Over time, those small touches can drive more direct bookings, turning one-time guests into loyal, returning customers. Another way to sweeten the pot for guests is to offer them discounts. With the 15% in fees Airbnb charges, you can give a guest a 10% discount and still make 5% more than you would if they book through Airbnb. So it's a financial win for you and your customers when they book directly with you. Beyond the financial benefits, there's something even more valuable. You're creating long-term stability in your business. Each direct booking strengthens your foundation. Repeat guests, referrals, and relationships that belong to you, not a platform. That's what gives your business staying power. And this leads to something even bigger. How to turn this entire Airbnb update into an opportunity to improve every part of your business. That's what we'll cover next. It's easy to see this update and feel frustrated. I get it. No one likes seeing new fees eat into your profits. But here's another way to look at it. This could be the perfect opportunity to upgrade how you run your short-term rental business. Instead of reacting, step back and ask yourself, am I too dependent on one platform? What can I do to increase revenue and profitability? How can I make my property stand out more in a crowded market? Are there ways to lower expenses or improve efficiency? Can I upgrade the guest experience so people come back and refer their friends? And what can I automate or streamline so the business runs more smoothly with fewer mistakes? Because the truth is, these are the kinds of questions that lead to a better business overall. Questions that move you from reacting to change to owning your results. Change is inevitable in this industry. But if you treat it as a chance to improve your systems, refine your operations, and strengthen your position, you'll come out of it with a business that's not only more resilient, but more profitable and easier to run. And that brings us to the mindset that ties this all together. the one shift that separates struggling hosts from sustainable entrepreneurs. Here's the bigger takeaway. Airbnb's new host-only fee is non-negotiable. It's happening, but this doesn't have to be bad news. It's a reminder that the rules can change at any time, and that's why it's so important to own your own business, not just your listings. For us, this change reinforces what we believe since the beginning. Your short-term rental business should be built on your terms, not at the mercy of one platform. If you found this breakdown helpful, hit that like button and subscribe. We share strategies just like this every week for high-income professionals building wealth through real estate. And if you're ready to build your own profitable short-term rental business and you're ready to take action, just click the link below to book a free strategy call. Our team will show you the steps you can take to get started today. I'm Dr. Kenji Asakura, and I'll see you in the next video.